If I were to ask you all who the first African American in Major League Baseball was, you would all say Jackie Robinson. Now, if I were to ask you who the general manager for the Brooklyn Dodgers was in 1947 when Robinson was signed, you would have no idea. That man is Branch Rickey. Now, I'm not saying that Rickey is fully responsible for the integration of baseball. Robinson had to do his part. But I think it is important to acknowledge the man who changed baseball in more ways than one. Without Rickey, baseball not only would have been integrated well after it was, but also be completely different than it is today. Today we will be covering Branch Rickey's career as a player, his career as a manager, and his phenomenal career as an executive. Let's begin back in 1905 when his playing career began with the St. Louis Browns. Of all the accolades Rickey has received, none of them were because of his playing days. He was a very average player at best, with only 3 home runs and 39 RBIs, or runs batted in, during his 9-year career. Now, there are some bright spots. He had a career average of .239, but that is quickly overshadowed by his only record as a player. Rickey holds the record for most stolen bases allowed by a catcher in one game with 13. No, he does not stand with the great players of his time like Cy Young and Babe Ruth, but after his days as a player ended in 1914, he began his career as a manager. If you pay attention to baseball at all, you know that the St. Louis Cardinals are a team that is almost always in the hunt for a championship, and this success can be traced back to Rickey once he started his career as a manager with the team. Under his leadership, the Cardinals, formerly the Browns, won 4 National League pennants, 4 World Series championships, and began their rise as one of the most successful franchises in the history of the sport. Yes, Rickey was a very successful manager with the Browns and Cardinals and led his teams to a plethora of wins. But what he is most known for is his impact as a general manager that changed the way baseball would be played forever. Branch Rickey is the greatest general manager in baseball history, not because of the number of wins and championships under him, but the numerous ways that he changed the game. Baseball is America's pastime, and I think the one league that sums this up better than even the majors is minor league baseball. Family atmosphere, better cost of tickets, and relaxing and laid-back vibe that comes from going to a minor league game wouldn't be possible without Mr. Rickey. See, Branch Rickey created the minor leagues and used them as a way to scout potential talent and groom players for a chance to succeed in the majors. In his 2015 book, In Pursuit of Pennants, Baseball Operations from Dead Ball to Moneyball, Daniel R. Levitt, an author who is critically acclaimed for his research and writing on baseball history, as well as a recipient of the Sporting News Baseball Research Award for his work, praises Rickey for being the founding father of the farm system by saying, "Farm system allowed Rickey to institute the Cardinal way. It was an organizational philosophy extending from the lowest farmhands to the major league team. Rickey was the first baseball executive to develop this kind of organizational framework. Yes, the farm system is great, but Rickey's crowning achievement as an executive was integrating the sport he loved." In 1947, Branch Rickey signed Jackie Robinson to the Brooklyn Dodgers and desegregated the sport that historian, educator, and Fulbright scholar Carl Prince proclaimed wouldn't have been fully integrated for a decade or two later, if not for Rickey. Prince went on to defend Rickey's position as baseball greatness in 1992, when he said Rickey was single-handedly responsible for moving African Americans into the major leagues, as he reinforced the issue with both wisdom and political acuity. Branch Rickey was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1967 for his actions as a general manager that changed the game forever. Daniel Levitt also later defends Rickey's place in baseball by writing, "Rickey left an unmatched resume on the game. As a general manager, he dramatically changed how teams find and develop players and what players are allowed to play the game. His place as the greatest GM in baseball history is secure." No, Branch Rickey wasn't the greatest player of all time with his infamous record and less than 5 home runs in 9 years. However, he was a phenomenal manager who led his teams to multiple championships and is responsible for the rise of the Cardinals, the way the baseball is organized today. In conclusion, Branch Rickey, the greatest GM in baseball history, is responsible for the success of the Cardinals, the implementation of the minor leagues, and the integration of the game, which paved the way for baseball idols like David Ortiz, Hank Aaron, and Mariano Rivera.